The universe still holds countless unsolved mysteries. While researchers are racking their brains over some fascinating phenomena and celestial bodies in distant galaxies, regular sightings and incidents that simply cannot be placed in a known context are also being recorded in our earthly homelands. Among the most fabled entities that have puzzled experts for years are the famed unidentified flying objects. While some of these flying objects were later identified as simple weather balloons, there are at least as many whose origin still represents an unfounded mystery. Just which memorable UFO sightings still cause heated debates today, we'll reveal to you now. Want to learn more about the most exciting spectacles and discoveries in the universe on a regular basis? Then remember to subscribe to TheSimplySpace to stay up to date. If you like the content of our videos, feel free to show us with a thumbs up. Now let's start with today's video. We'd like to begin with a topic that currently holds the entire globe under its spell. UFO reports from the Pentagon. The recently published UFO dossiers of the Pentagon caused serious waves, as is well known. The relevant documents deal with 144 unexplained sightings by the US military that occurred between the years 2004 and 2021. The mystery? With only one exception, none of the recorded flying objects have been solved as earthly. Furthermore, the fact that some of the objects exhibited highly unusual movement patterns or extraordinary flight characteristics appears to be particularly puzzling. While this does not mean that the countless, indefinable sightings necessarily indicate the existence of extraterrestrial visitors, extraterrestrial origins are neither ruled out. A 9-page report by the US Secret Services simply skims over this breathtaking topic. If one follows this official document, then the inexplicable formations can most likely be classified into 5 categories. Namely, they could be balloons, drones, animals, atmospheric phenomena, or secret weapons tests. As already mentioned, this is only a theoretical explanation. Almost none of the discovered objects have been investigated beyond doubt. What already seems incomparably exciting in the presented UFO dossiers becomes even more exciting when we take a look at one of the fascinating eyewitness reports. Fighter pilot Alex Dietrich is one of those people who have seen the mysterious entities with their own eyes. The inexplicable incident, which happened 17 years ago, still preoccupies the now retired US American to this day. According to her own statements, Alex and her colleagues noticed an unusual structure near the surface of the water during a routine flight, which set the surrounding water masses in motion. The pilots then spotted a flying object that visually resembled a tic-tac. Roswell incident. Although the so-called Roswell incident occurred 74 years ago, it's still an object of controversy. In the summer of 1947, some US press outlets reported a sensational incident. According to the report, a flying saucer was said to have fallen from the sky near the small town of Roswell in the US state of New Mexico and was subsequently recovered by the military. And indeed, the US Army declared in an official statement that it had come across a pile of debris in the corresponding area. The fragments were not the remains of an extraterrestrial spacecraft, but simply the debris of a crashed weather balloon, it was claimed. Convinced ufologists questioned this representation critically. Above all, it was the report of pilot Kenneth Arnold that unleashed a heated debate. He stated that he had discovered a collection of unknown missiles during a private reconnaissance flight on June 24, 1947. The rapid movement of the objects was reminiscent of saucers bouncing over the water. We now owe the term flying saucer to this description, still in use today. A married couple also told of seeing a large glowing structure in the sky on July 2, 1947. LEVELLAND UFO incident. 10 years after the Roswell incident, the US population was again thrown into turmoil by a mysterious event. The incident in question occurred in November 1957 in the Texas town of LEVELLAND, which at that time had a population of about 10,000. In the circles of ufologists, the events of that time are among the most impressive UFO sightings in history. But what exactly happened? On the evening of November 2nd, farm workers Joe Salas and Pedro Saucedo contacted the local police to report a UFO sighting. The men reported the sudden appearance of a blue light, as a result of which the engine of their vehicle failed. Subsequently, a rocket-like flying object approached the truck, only to then disappear with a thunderous bang into the night sky. At first, police officials dismissed this incredible story as a bad joke, but a short time later, they received a report from driver Jim Wheeler, who painted a very similar picture. Wheeler told of a glistening bright oval shape that was on the road blocking his way. In this case, the car's engine also reportedly, inexplicably, stopped working. When Wheeler finally got out of his vehicle to get to the bottom of the mystery, the object rose and disappeared. Subsequently, such sightings from the public became more frequent. The authorities decided to subject the LEVELLAND incident to a thorough investigation. At the end of this investigation, it was reported that the alleged spaceships were probably ball lightning. Lights over the New Jersey Turnpike. The New Jersey Turnpike is one of the most heavily traveled roads in the U.S. Starting at the George Washington Bridge, the highway stretches for nearly 125 miles. Anyone who took a look at the New Jersey Turnpike on July 14, 2001, witnessed some very curious scenes. Shortly after midnight, countless motorists stopped and turned their gaze to the night sky. Above their heads, mysterious lights had arranged themselves into a V-shaped formation. The orange-yellow lights were spotted not only by motorists on the New Jersey Turnpike, but also by dozens of local residents. While official agencies vehemently denied having located such objects on their radars, a group called the New York Strange Phenomena Investigators claimed to have captured radar data consistent with the UFO sightings. UFO over an airport? Just before a plane was scheduled to take off from Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, a United Airlines employee noticed an undefinable entity that was completely out of character with everyday airport life. On that day in November 2006, a total of 12 people saw the mysterious flying object. Specifically, it's said to have been a metallic flying object that hovered over the tarmac at around 4:15 p.m. According to eyewitnesses, the unidentified flying object remained in the air for about 5 minutes before it suddenly shot toward the sky at high speed, leaving a hole in the cloud cover. Since the said flying object had not been detected by radar, official authorities declined to launch an official investigation. Lights over Stephenville. The peaceful town of Stephenville, Texas, is more known for its numerous dairy farms. However, the mysterious incident that occurred there on the evening of January 8, 2008, had nothing to do with the usual farming activities of its residents. On that day, dozens of residents of the town saw mysterious and unique shapes in the sky. These were white lights, which showed an extremely bizarre pattern of movement. The balls of light are said to have initially presented themselves in a horizontal arc before finally arranging themselves in vertical parallel paths. Pilot Steve Allen, who also witnessed the unusual phenomenon, estimated the light formations were about a mile long and 2,500 feet wide. Allen estimated the speed at which the objects moved at a staggering 3,000 miles per hour. Incidentally, the apparition was said to have been accompanied by complete silence, no sound whatsoever. Washington Flap. It was July 19, 1952, when an air traffic controller at Washington National Airport detected 7 unusual objects on his radar. Inexplicably, there were no reported aircraft in the vicinity that could have explained the data picked up by the radar. In addition, the missiles did not appear to follow fixed flight paths. A detailed examination of the radar showed that the technical equipment was completely intact. In addition, the detections recorded at Washington National Airport were also confirmed by other radar stations. After the unidentified flying objects continued to accumulate on the radars, the first reports of unusual sky sightings emerged. Pilot William Brady reported seeing a glowing orange flying object with a long tail trailing behind it. Another aviator reported seeing 6 brilliant white objects moving at extreme speeds. Other light phenomena observed appeared to be virtually stationary in the sky before abruptly changing direction. A week later, More incidents of this kind were reported. Experts agreed that the light phenomena had no known characteristics of shooting stars or similar objects. The breathtaking events that took place in the US in July 1952 would eventually go down in history as the Washington Flap. On July 29th, two high-ranking Pentagon officials held a high-profile press conference to explain the events. The official investigation concluded that the UFOs were misidentified aerial phenomena such as meteors. The mysterious objects on the radars were said to have been caused by a temperature inversion. Now we want to hear your opinion. What do you think about the numerous UFO sightings? We're already looking forward to reading your opinions, feedback, and suggestions in the comments. Finally, we've linked more exciting videos for you, which you can access by clicking on one of the thumbnails in the credits here. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time.